Good morning, dears. I hope that you guys just doing fine. As I told you yesterday, today we are going to start a new grammar lesson, and it's not in your unit 11, it's in your unit 9 in your students' book. And the explanation of it is on pages 172 and 173. But today I want you to be extra attention to the explanation that I'll provide you with in order to understand it easily from the first time. So let me now share the presentation with you in order to start our lecture for today. Mm-hmm. All right, so I believe that you guys have the screen in front of you right now, and as you can see that our grammar lesson is called reported speech, reported speech. So before starting to explain, does any one of you have any idea regarding the lesson for today? Who can give me, who does or who has information regarding it? So please, if you guys have any information, just raise your hand and let me hear from you guys. Lean, yeah, Lean, tell me.
Yes, teacher. Reported speech is quoting what someone said, by referring to them and using the same tense that they used.
Thank you. But do we have to use the same tense?
There is supposed to be two ways. The first one is exactly quoting what they said, but the other one, we can change the tense. It's going to be in the past tense.
Yeah, Nalika, so that's called the direct speech and the indirect, right? The direct and the
Yes,
indirect.
the direct one is exactly quoting what they said, right?
Yeah, Naliki. Thank you, Lynn. Yes, Sultan, tell me.
Yes, teacher. Teacher, the reported speech is when you say something that else says. Is it correct? Teacher, do you hear me?
Sultan, I cannot hear you very well.
Just a minute, please.
All right. It's okay, Sultan. Go ahead, yeah, Ramiz.
Teacher, do you hear
Yes,
me?
teacher, the robot speech, it's a word transmit from person to another.
Yes, transmitted from a person to another. Thank you, dear. All right. Anyone wants to add anything before we start explaining? I believe not. Okay, so let's now go back to our presentation and start explaining our lesson for today, which is about reported speech. So when I say reported speech, look here, everybody. Okay, when I say reported speech, I mean that we have, okay, more than one kind or category for the word speech. So before going to our main lesson, which is reported speech, I have to know the definition of the direct speech. What is direct speech? Okay, when I am talking to you, okay, I am making a direct speech to you. So, what is meant by direct speech? When I say direct or direct speech, it is the repetition, tikrar, I repeat, of the exact words spoken. Exact words. So, I do not change anything in the sentence, not pronouns, not nouns, not adverbs of time or place, not tenses, nothing. I do not change anything in the spoken words. I give the same words as the person said. By placing the words spoken between quotation marks. So when I put the words said, the words which were spoken in quotation marks, it means that I didn't change anything in it. So here, and there is no change in these words. There is no change in these words. That's what we call the direct speech. So one more time, when I say direct or direct speech, I say it is the repetition of the same exact words spoken by the person. And how do I know that they are the same or they are the exact words? Because I put these words in quotation marks or in something that is called inverted commas. Okay, الفواصل اللي بتكون مقلوبة. Inverted commas, and there is no change in these words in any category, not in pronouns, not in nouns, not in tenses, etc. Let's have examples in order to clarify what I am saying in here. When I say she said, and we put the quotation marks in here, what time will you go to the party? And I said, I answered her, I don't know. So here, between the quotation marks or the inverted commas, I didn't change anything. I said the words as they are in the exact words, in the same exact words. Let's look at the second example in here. There is a fly in my water. There is a fly in my water. Screamed Tom. So Tom, okay, screamed. Tom said that there is a fly in my water. This is also a direct speech sentence. Let's go to the third one. Jacob said, what did Jacob say? There is an elephant in the forest. There is an elephant in the forest. And I put them in quotation marks because he said these exact words. And I didn't change any of them. Any of them. This was regarding the direct speech. Let's go now to our lesson, which is the indirect or indirect speech. Okay, so here let's look at the first word in here in our indirect speech. Okay, what is the difference between those two? We have the direct and the indirect. With the prefix n, we know that the prefix n gives us the opposite meaning, the antonym of the word. So here, indirect, what do I mean by that? Let's see what do we mean by that. It's reported or indirect speech, okay, is usually to talk. So what is the difference? Here I give the same exact words. I repeat the same exact words, but in the reported, I am reporting. I am transferring. أنا أعمل بنقل بخبر. I am telling. I am saying. Okay, so it is reported or indirect speech. And when do I use it, or where do I use it, or how do I use it? It is usually used to talk about the past. So when I want to tell you, when I want to report, I want to report something that happened in the past, for sure. تمام? Because I cannot report. لما احنا بنسوي التقارير او the reporter for the newspaper, okay, he tells what happened. He tells what happened in the past. So our tense should be in the past tense because the action happened in the past and I am reporting regarding it. I am reporting about it. So we normally change the tense. So this is the first change, that we have to change the tense of the word spoken. We use the reporting verbs. So we have here 3 reporting verbs, 3 important reporting verbs when I want to change my sentence from the direct speech into the indirect speech or into the reported speech. We have verbs that are called reporting verbs. What are they? Say, tell, ask, and later on we will explain the difference between them. And we may use the word that. So here we said we may. So it is optional and it doesn't affect the meaning of the sentence. It doesn't affect the meaning. So you either use it or not, it will make no difference. To introduce the reported words, And look here, inverted commas, and this is a very important note that you guys have to take into consideration, which is inverted commas, which are the quotation marks, are not used. We do not use them. Why? Because we are not saying the same exact words. We are not saying, we are reporting right now. We are changing the tense, changing the pronouns, because we are the people who are telling what happened in the past. We are the people who are telling or who are saying or who are asking for what happened in the past. So let's look at the definition one more time. Reported or indirect speech is usually used to talk about the past because it is something that happened in the past and I am reporting about it. So we normally change the tense because it might be in the present, so I have to have it in the past. Of the words spoken, we use reporting verbs. Like, what are the reporting verbs that we will use mostly, okay, generally or mostly? Say, tell, and ask. And we may use the word that. It is optional, as I said, to introduce the reported words. And the most important note that we have to take into consideration, inverted commas are not used because we are not saying the same exact words. We are changing in many categories. We are changing the sentence in many categories. Let's have an example in order to clarify our definition in here. We have Maria said, I saw him. This is a direct speech sentence, okay? Why? Because here we can say that we have quotation marks and we repeated the same exact words which Maria said, which is I saw him. When I want to change it, let's look at it. When I want to change it to an indirect speech or a reported speech sentence, let's see what will happen in here. Maria said we can replace Maria with a pronoun. This is no problem at all. But let's go, let's continue. So Maria said, she said, okay, here we said that that is optional if I want to put it in my sentence or not. It will not make any difference to this sentence, to the meaning or to the structure of the sentence. And here we are changing some categories in the sentence. Let's look at it. Because here Maria said, I am now reporting what she said. So I changed the pronoun from I to she. So this is the first change. And I changed the tense here from saw to had seen. And I saw him, all right, because she had seen, okay, a person. So the last pronoun will stay as is because the person didn't change. Okay, the person here didn't change. And we will talk about pronouns later on. So here, let's look again at our example. Maria said, I saw him. It's a direct speech sentence. And when I want to report it, I changed the first pronoun in here. And I inserted, instead of Maria, a pronoun. She said that it's an optional. Or yes, it's optional. And and instead of I put she because I'm talking about Maria. I am reporting about Maria. Had seen, we changed also the tense in here, and we continued our sentence, which is the object him, which is the object him. All right, we'll go now to some important notes that we have to take into consideration in order to understand our lesson better and be able to easily transfer from direct into indirect speech sentences. Let's look at the first note in here. As we said, we have reporting verbs such as say, tell, and ask. Okay, when I say, in Arabic it means قال, and when I say tell it means يخبر. معناته هنا عندنا يقول ويخبر. هلا let's look at this note. When I say يقول, okay, I do not need an object. يعني اوكي ممكن انا احكي يقول او ممكن انه انا احكي يقول لي او يقول لهم. Okay, but when I say يخبر tell I need to have an object. اوكي لانه مثلا المعلمة اخبرت. اوكي اخبرت مين؟ We don't know. So here we want an object. Okay, so here I can say المعلمة أخبرت الطلاب. So the teacher told the students. The teacher told them. So when I use say, I do not need an indirect object. Let's look here. Use say when there is no object. When there is no indirect object. It's okay. It's okay إنه أنا أحكي المعلمة قالت. مفهومة 100%. تمام بس أنا لما بدي أحكي المعلمة أخبرت مين؟ Okay, so here I could use say or I use say when there is no indirect object. Let's look at the example here. He said that he was tired. So هو قال, okay, قال لمين? We do not care. It's okay because it is understood that he said. But let's look at the use of tell in here. Use tell with an indirect object. Who was being spoken to? لمين أنا أخبرت? Okay, who was being spoken to? Let's look at the example. He told. Okay, is it understood if I said he told that he was tired? Okay, he told who? He told me. He told his parents. He told the teacher. He told the children. He told etc. So he has to tell someone. We have to have an object in here. We have to have an object. Okay, this is the difference between using say and tell. This is the difference between using say and tell. Let's go now to the second note, and it's a very important note. It is regarding pronouns. So, when I want to change my sentence from a direct sentence or direct speech to an indirect or to a reported speech, I have to change pronouns regarding my sentence. I have to change pronouns. We discussed before, I believe in the first semester, regarding the categories or the types of pronouns that we have. And we said that we have 5 important types of pronouns, which are the subject pronoun, فاعل, object, مفعول به, possessive pronouns, الملكية or possessive adjectives, and the difference between the possessive adjective and the possessive pronoun, that after the adjective we have to have a noun in here, but after the possessive pronoun we have to have a full stop. We have to have a full stop, and we have also the reflexive pronouns such as I did my homework by myself. So here we have 5 categories of pronouns that we are going to be using in order to change our sentences from direct speech into indirect or into reported speech. So I, it will become in the object me, in the possessive adjective my, such as my book, my phone, etc. And in the possessive pronoun my, reflexive pronoun myself. So here, this is a very important chart that you have to have in mind and that you have to remember and recognize whenever we are using the direct speech in order to make our sentences into the indirect speech. Let's have examples regarding the pronouns in here in order to clarify it more. So here, example number 1, this is a direct sentence, a direct speech. He said, I like music. When I want to transfer it to an indirect speech or to a reported speech, he said, okay, and there's no commas. I inserted that and I changed my pronoun I, which is a subject pronoun from the first column in here, into a he. Why? Because I am reporting about him. I am reporting what he said, what he liked. That's why I changed the pronoun I into a he, because he is not the person who's talking. He is not the person who is reporting. I am the person who is reporting about him. So that's why I changed the pronoun from an I to a he. So my new sentence or my reported sentence became, he said that he liked music. He said that he liked music. Let's look at the second example in here. We have Sam and Pam. What did they say? They said, we play volleyball. We play volleyball. Let's look at our pronoun in here, which is we. اللي هو معناها نحن. So Sam and Pam, okay, told us that they play volleyball. So when I want to say what Sam and Pam, or when I want to report what Sam and Pam said, I have to change the pronoun we, because they are not the people who are reporting. I am the person who is reporting about them. So they say, and I inserted they instead of Sam and Pam, and that was fine. That is fine. It's okay to replace pronouns, okay, or it's okay to replace nouns with pronouns. Said, because this is our reporting verb in here, that is optional. And see here, I changed the pronoun we to the pronoun they, because I am the one who's reporting play volleyball, and we'll talk about that because our action or the action happened in the past. When we talk about tenses, the action happened in the past, so I continue my sentence. They said that they played volleyball. Let's go to the last example in here. John, what did John ask? See here, we have a question in order to use the word ask, the reporting verb ask. Can you see me? So John is talking to me. John is asking me, can you see me? All right, so let's look at the pronoun in here. It is you. I want to report to another person what John asked me. So what do I say? John asked if I could see him. So here I also changed the pronoun from you into an I, because John was asking me, can بيسألني أنا. So can you see me? I am reporting what the question of John, which is if I could see him. If I could see him. That was regarding the pronouns. Let's go now to our next note, which is a very, very, very important note, because it is about the tenses change. How do I change my tense? How do I change my tense? Generally, and you guys have to take into consideration, we just have maybe one or two tenses that do not change. They remain the same. but the other tenses, they have to be changed. So let's look at tenses change in reported speech as follows. The first note and the most important note that you have to know that our tenses generally change one step back. What do I mean by one step back? So if we have a simple present, it will be in the simple past when I change it to the indirect speech. If it is a present continuous, it will become a past continuous. If it's a present perfect, it will be a past perfect. So let's take the tenses one by one, step by step. We have the first tense in here, which is present simple tense. Present, if my direct speech sentence is in the present simple tense, we have to change it to the past simple tense in order to make it a reported speech sentence. Let's look at the example. So these information or this rule, you guys have to memorize them, in order to be able to solve your exercises. For example, the direct speech, she wears a skirt. Let's look at this sentence. She is our pronoun in here, our subject. Wears is our verb, and in what tense is it? It's in the simple present tense. It's in the simple present, a skirt. When I want to make this sentence a reported speech sentence, what do? She said, okay, that, all right, because I am reporting what is she saying or what she said. She, my pronoun, and my tense in here will go or will change to one step back. So if I have it in the simple present, it will become in the simple past. And what is the past tense of the verb wear? It is wore a skirt. And then I complete my sentence. So she wears a skirt will become she wore a skirt. Our tense has changed into from the present simple into the past simple, and it was about one step back. Let's go to the second tense in here, which is the present continuous tense, which is the verb to be regarding my pronoun am, is, or are, plus my verb plus the ing. This is the present continuous tense. If I want to change my direct speech sentence into a reported one, I have to change the tense if it was in the present continuous into a past continuous. So the am or is or are will become was or were regarding our pronoun, and my verb which has an ing. That verb provided with an ing. Let's have an example in here. The direct speech sentence, I am looking for my car. So here, our tense is in the present continuous tense. When I want to report my sentence, what do? She said that she was. See here the difference? See here the transformation, which is from am into was, because I have she, and my verb with the ing, and I continue my Let's look here at the pronoun, and I continue my sentence, but because I am talking about her, so I'm not talking about my car, I'm talking about her car. So see, I changed the pronoun from my, because she was talking about her car, but I am reporting about her car, so that's why I changed the pronoun from my to her. Here the possessive adjective, because I have the noun car after it. So here our new sentence regarding the tenses and the pronouns will become, she said that she was looking for her car. She said that she was looking for her car. Let's go to the next tense in here, which is the present perfect tense into the past perfect tense. So from present perfect into the past perfect. Let's look at it in here. Present perfect tense. Okay, we have an example in here. She, our pronoun has written a letter for her friend. She has written a letter for her friend. I wanna report it. So the tense is in the present, has perfect tense, has written, and it will be transferred into the past perfect tense. So has have to become had, and the past participle of the verb. She had written a letter for her friend. She had written a letter for her friend. So it is as easy as that. If you memorize the rule from what tense to what tense, your transferring will be very easy, to do. Our next tense in here is the past simple. So if I have my sentence in the past simple tense, it will be transferred into past perfect tense. Let's look at the example. A husband or a man said, my wife gave me a bar of chocolate. My wife, okay, gave me a bar of chocolate. So here is the pronoun or the noun, which is my wife. And okay, look here, who's talking? The man is talking. Look here, the man is talking. My wife, he is saying that my wife gave me, and here our tense is in the simple past. He gave him, okay, a bar of chocolate. When I want to report this sentence, what do I say? Let's look here. He said, okay, I am reporting. He said with the man or the husband, that is optional. Look here, he said my wife, but when I am reporting, it's not my wife, it's his wife. So here I changed my pronoun from my into his because I'm talking about his wife. I'm not talking about my wife, okay? And here we change the tense from the past simple into a past perfect tense. So gave will become had given. And here I cannot say me because his wife didn't give me a bar of chocolate. She gave him. So here our object pronoun will be changed from me to him. From me to him because she gave him or she had given him the bar of chocolate, and I continue my sentence, the bar of chocolate. So my new sentence will become, he said that his wife had given him a bar of chocolate. We transferred our tense from the past simple into the past perfect, into the past perfect tense. Unfortunately, our time is up for today. I hope that you guys understood everything. If you guys have any question after revising and seeing the video again, I will put it for you on Education. So watch it again, and if you guys have any question, you can ask me. I want to remind you of your homework. You have a writing homework that you have to do tomorrow. Okay, for the meantime, I will leave you in order to go to your next class. You guys have a nice day and please stay